How is everyone doing? I'm gonna just do last minute lighting adjustments. I don't really want the. I'm trying to make it so the lighting isn't just blinding me, but is usable. I found. All right. Welcome back to the stream. Last week, I know I said I was gonna stream, but I was at a hotel that had maybe five upload speed. That did not was not gonna happen. I was thinking about recording something at that time, but it wound up just not making sense. So I just took my vacation. All right. First thing we're going to discuss is the news. First, we're back on. I actually had played Earthborne over the weekend with a friend because, well, I had it with me. So I reconstructed the deck to the best of my remembrance because we weren't allowed to camp, so we're not allowed to we fatigued out, so we didn't camp, so we're not allowed to change our deck. So I tried the best of my ability to just change it. We didn't have any new rewards or anything, so it wasn't the biggest deal. Um, but we are starting in the biological outpost. Day 9, which would be a perfect day, but we are doing the weekly ranger report, which are bi-weekly. And that means we have Thunderhead. Today is the last day for it, so thank God I got this in. Oh, in the aftermath of the meteor meteors of the valley, um, of the raining meteors, the valley is recovering from numerous wildfires it suffered. You'll be hard pressed to find many common plants and fruits in your travel. Give it some time. They will give it some time. They will return. Okay, so actually, I will have to redo this. I didn't read this part, so I don't want to gain gain information. Oh, this is really bad. Oh, I not showing. Okay. So I'm gonna remove all of the flora. Um, Again, double check. I don't think there's any flora in the. No. So we're gonna grab 3 more at random because I had to search through to get rid of all of the flora. When creating the path deck, do not include any flora. So, yeah, there was the raining meteors last week. We had a real rough time with that. Luckily, that's all good. Now we just have the roughness of not having any flora, which um isn't a good thing. I'm actually fond of having flora around. So that's day 9. Um, we have two marks on the Trail of Vines and 1 mark on Secret Invasion. I'm hoping to get through some of the Secret Invasion, especially now with a smaller deck. That actually should be more possible. We've gotten 5 entries so far of the, I believe, 8 we need for zoological recorder. Again, today might actually be a good day to get through that because no flora means smaller deck sizes, path decks, which means more consistently seeing the same thing. We're going to the biological outpost. Um, so we will just start with the biological outpost. It will be 22. Many years ago, the Rangers strung a blind between several trees, large enough that half a dozen people could live in cozy comfort. In the time since, the blind was replaced by a multi-story building with space enough to accommodate a small village. Here, the locals devote to biological research studies of the valley's wildlife, especially focusing on the area's unique biomelds. All right. Ah, tactically resetting the Elgato. Yep, there we go. Arrival setup. The lead ranger, me, searches the path for the next prey or predator and puts it into play. It's a predator. Oh, technically, that's fine. We'll deal with that as the consequence, but technically, I need to draw my hand first. So, yeah, that has been our week. Has been went to the gaming con, came back to dealing work. Last night I saw some friends, had a good time. Now just getting back to the grind of Earthborne Rangers. We're in day 9. Um, I'm expecting probably tonight to only do one more episode. I'm trying to look for times where I can take time off, maybe not take time off, but like set aside a Sunday to just do a longer stream. Um, but I kind of don't want to rush too much because while there is the other campaign, Legacy of the Ancestors, uh, I probably don't really want to start that until I kind of don't. I kind of want to wait until like we hear about the next expansion, the next campaign expansion, to give myself as much runtime from now to that actually being in my hands. Um, because like if we finish both of them before if we finish Lore of the Valley and then Legacy of the Ancestors before we even get news of a new campaign, that's going to be a real struggle for a lot for content. We'll have the 4 like mini series like Spire and Bloom, and the other 3 that I am spacing on the name of. It is much better if we could just get if I can use those to space out to get there, to just space out enough to be able to get to the next campaign. At some point, I'm gonna hit this wall where we're gonna catch up on material, but then we'll find something to do. Not too worried about it. All right, we draw 6 cards. Mulligan in this game is I set aside any number. I draw to replace that many cards, and then I shuffle them back in. I shuffle the set aside ones back in. A dear friend is almost always goaded, but we're not like specifically looking for a person. Oh, Trail of Vines is actually impossible for me to do. Oh, that's really interesting. I'm gonna guess this is a small one. Wait, it's reasonably okay. Trail of Vines only deals with floors coming into place, so this mission's actually impossible for me to deal with right now. So the other one is Secret Invasion, which is which is finding reclaimers. So we're gonna try to do that, and then archaeology. We haven't actually ran into anything, but I mean, if we run into a sinkhole, we'll deal with it. Um, Imperatibus whistle is very important to keep, so we're definitely keeping that. Message of shepherding can be useful, but eh. Homeward bound would matter, but I don't like having it in my open hand. I don't even like essays of shepherding. Ranger badge goaded. Dear friend would be good if we were specifically looking for humans, but we're really not. And then astute, I always like to get rid of the personality traits in my first opening hand. Unless I'm like specifically going to try and hike out of here. So we got to follow in footsteps. Enthusiastic. And the stout hearted guardian. And then we shuffle these back in. Oop. We're going to flip over the biological outpost and put a dozing bear sloth into play. And a reclaimer seeker who has ambush. Okay, I don't have seekers in here. For those unfamiliar, okay, hold on. Sorry, just changing the lighting to not give everything a yellow tint. So that's the Reclaimer Seeker. It has ambush, so it will fatigue us 2 when it becomes engaged with us or enters our reach. All right. So Secret Invasion says uh when we clear a Reclaimer, we go to 1.10. Yeah. Um so I think the first thing we do is it's 9. First thing I want to do is I want to play the Zoological Recorder. And this Parapus whistle, which will come in with 3 whistles on it, or calls. And then I want to try and connect with the Reclaimer with as a 4 test. Turns to 3, which still succeeds. We put 3 progress on it. Then we will resolve Cress. So we have Thunderhead, which says ready 1 predator or prey. They're all ready anyway, so each ranger suffer from trails of vines. Um, each ranger suffers a fatigue equal to the number of vine tokens within reach, and vine tokens are placed on flora, so that's almost never going to come up unless something specifically puts floras out of from another set. I don't have more than 4 fatigue. If I have 2 or more fatigue, exhaust this being, and suffer 1 injury, I will use the call from my Paraptus whistle to ignore that. Because Reclaimer Seekers are predators. Yeah, this is not good. I'm already not looking forward to dealing with this. I'm gonna spend my awareness tapping my role, Voice of the Elders, to add a call to the Paratopus whistle. Uh, I don't think I'm gonna do anything with this because I don't want to suffer more fatigue. So we're gonna ready everything. We're gonna draw a card. Quizzy's favorite snack, which I think I had last time and I never saw them. I could be wrong. I can't show you Quizzy's favorite snacks. That's good. I will put it onto my to-do list. The weather is Thunderhead, which says to flip this card over, and it turns into How do I not have Halloween winds, but have the other side? We're in a rival setup, which didn't happen. So I guess we'll deal with that after. And then we draw another card, which is a swarm of bees with one bee on it so far. Okay. The first one we're gonna do is we're gonna play Quizzy's favorite snacks. I'm gonna exhaust it using one of it, eating one of the snacks to recover two. We have 1, 2, 3 gear. I don't think I've had Quizzy's gear snack. Gonna be honest, I don't think that was in my original thing. This is not unique, so it doesn't. So I'm pretty sure I can have two of them. We have another parrotpist whistle, which will be good. I'm gonna trying a connection test with for two against the reclaimer. -1, so I fail. Mountains. Nothing happens here. There is an active predator. It's not along the way. Add one mucus token to the location. If there are 3 or more, discard them. Oru the sheepdog would be very helpful right about now, actually. I would not complain about Oru. I'm just gonna get overrun really quickly. Oh, that's not great. The bee is also might also just hurt me. This is the swarm will just next turn be able to hurt me, and I don't know how to stop that. I would be taking so much damage. I'd be suffering 5 fatigue if I wanted to just try and travel right now. I'm giving up my ranger badge. Like, I think I kind of need to because it's just going to get worse if I don't. I kind of want to make sure that I have a panic escape button if this gets out of hand. So I put 4. I committed 4 to it. So I put 4 here. I put another mucus here. Okay, so we can travel if we need to in the future. I'm gonna spend this focus to increase this whistle's call. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So start my. So I'm gonna refresh, drawing the card. We'll draw a path card. There's another drop bear. I'm gonna use Quizzy's favorite snack to soothe 3 fatigue. Oh my god. Thank God. Which I don't think trashes the snacks currently, as far as I understand. Um, I'm gonna put Iru out. I'm gonna put a 1, 2, 3, 4. 5-6, so I will trash Quasi Snack as I overinstall an intention translator with 3 charges on it. Oru will. Oh, the bees go up by 1. Well, is anyone. Oh, that's weird. Oh, that's very weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to keep those currently. I could put my essay on shepherding out, but I kind of don't want to. Um, I will currently take an injury from the bees if I don't do anything. Um, hmm. Oh, if I pull out, so 1/3 of the time I will. If I move the reclaimer, I won't be able to touch him after. I can move the bees with Oru, which will put two progress, and then I can pet the dog. Oh, well, I'm gonna pet the dog, which will fire. I will soothe the fatigue and ready, and then I will take an injury because of the bees. Oh, I think I was actually trying to avoid. I don't have 4 or more. I don't have 4 or more, and I don't have 2 or more. And I take an injury. And I put 4 progress on the bees. Okay, well, that's annoying. Quarter. Sever the Land is a dead card in my hand. I just was expecting to not get immediately injured. I don't know why. Okay. Sorry, I have multiple things over my OBS delay preview. So I had to check to make sure the camera is not paused. Yeah, I don't know what to do about this. This is crazy. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna use Voice of the Elder. To and spend a focus to increase my intention translator. I think I'm gonna have to have to rest. This is not great for me. Um, yeah, we're gonna rest. I just kind of have no choice. So the bees are actually quite scary now. And there's another reclaimer. Good news. But I get to draw a card. Quizzy's favorite snacks. It's not a bad idea. Oh, and I fatigued one from having an injury. Um, I can at least avoid the reclaimers from dealing damage to me. Um, I think I move the bees, and then I try and pet Oru again. The only concern is that I can only block these guys at once. Oh well, I do pet him. Soothes me of fatigue. I will use Oru to finally connect with the Cloud Hive. I will put that up there. I just didn't expect to have this many things ever. Then I will try and connect with this reclaimer. I will expend this and then use this intention translator. So we're currently at 5. Sorry, I've gotten like 5 text messages in the last 2 minutes. So we're at 5 effort, 4 from 3 from my stat, 1 from a card, 1 from intention translator. Um, 5 puts us at 5. That is so funny. 5 puts us at 8, which is not enough to completely stop it. Completely finish it. Reclaimer Seeker. Nothing here fires. I don't have 4 fatigue. I only have 2, so these don't fire. Reclaimer Seeker fires. Parapus Whistle. Paratopus Whistle will block that for me, and this Paratopus Whistle will block that for me from the other one. All right. Um, I'm going to use Voice of the Elder, spending this awareness to increase the counters on Paratopus Whistle. And I'm not gonna try anything funny. I think I'm just gonna rest because that will Oru the sheepdog will clear one guy for me, and I can move along anytime I want. This might be the shortest day. Well, we might wind up doing 2 days just because this might be really short. I take a fatigue from my injury. I draw a card. It's a swarm of cloud. It's a cloud hive swarm. we're gonna use zoological recorder first thing. We're gonna choose a being with. Oh no! Oh, that's interesting. I'm gonna use Oru to move and clear the seeker, which will trigger secret invasion. Secret invasion says to read 1.10. This will be the read the entry. Oh, check off a bubble. So just show what I'm seeing. So it says to check off a bubble. So we'll check off a second one. As the reclaimer escapes, you take the time to study the tracks it leaves. The pattern its clawed forelimbs leave in the dirt are distinctive, and you start to realize you've seen these tracks before at numerous points throughout your travels. The reclaimers must be all over the valley. Okay. And then let me double check what zoological recorder says. Being in the path, reclaimers are. I need to get a new PC for the streaming. Are beings. So I'm going to choose a being in the path with the same name as a being in play. In the discard is the same being as the. As in the discard as a being in play. Um, if you do, we'll add one entry onto here. And we'll put 2 progress on the reclaimer. So the Cloud Hive swarm can't hurt me currently because it only has 1. So this is a really good time. We're going to use our intention translator. We're gonna. That's 4. That is as much as I can commit. I don't have anything in hand. So 3 plus the intention translator. -1 is 3. So we'll put 5 on the reclaimer. Mountain effects. Nothing here. There are active predators. Nothing here. It's not along the way. It's not along the way. Add a mucus token. There are 3 of them. We'll remove them and add a reclaimer pilot or something. Pilop? Is how you pronounce this? Oh my. Ah. Okay. Sorry. Sorry, we're gonna have to deal with a messy board. My camera. I had to restart a bunch of my camera settings because I took down my equipment for the convention, assuming I was going to be able to actually live stream. All right. Okay. If we clear, if that gets cleared by injuries, which it can naturally do, we'll have more problems. I use those three. I'm gonna pet Oru, the sheepdog. I only have 3 fatigue, so yeah, we're safe. -2, I fail. Sun effects. We'll add 2 wind to this card with the weather. We haven't had to deal with it. Nope, there's nothing there. That doesn't do anything. If there's a flora along the way, if there's flora, Reclaimer moves itself. That's bad. We have to move him back. Well, that sucks. We do have to shuffle. Oh, boy. I keep dropping things. I need to stop. Oh, that closet door is not supposed to be open. I'll deal with that later. Oh, my carpal tunnel's been flaring recently. Oh, it's really hurt a lot. That might actually make, if that keeps flaring up, this might actually be a shorter session just because of that. Oh no. Alright. Feature, I can reduce its present. I can reduce the Reclaimer's, the Piplop's presence, but I don't know. Dude, none of this seems like a good use of my time. I'm gonna have to take 2 from the Reclaimer ambush. I kind of wanna. I think I'm gonna stick around one more time. Now I do have to worry about the the swarm injuring me again, but I think it's worth the risk. And I think we just move in camp as soon as we sense any problems. Although I'm at. Do I have Quizzy Snacks on me? Okay. I'm gonna play Quizzy Snacks. I have to overwrite something. It's gonna be this whistle. I'm then gonna use them to clear 2. Oh, but then I'm just gonna take 2. That would have been a really smart thing to think about before I did it. Because, I'm just gonna take 7. I'm just gonna take 2 more fatigue here, which means the bears can actually injure me, which means I could injure out from just this test. Yeah, because I would take 3. Yeah, if I had one less. So if I pet him, this is really, really dangerous. Why am I doing this? If I pet him, I take one less. Uh, then I won't fire the bears. The whistle will fire, and the only thing that could injure me. No, I could still take two. I could actually take 4 wounds right now. So instead of that, just make it so I can't t- do that. Just make it so I can't fail putting 2 on him. I actually only need to commit this many for this, and I have 4 fatigue. That's my hand. It's large. And I injure out. Do I? Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, because I take 3. I guess I injure out now. That's cool. I didn't. Did I have an other option? Sorry. Let's examine if I'm just being brash or if I actually had a way out of here. Um. Uh. Polkado. No. Stout-hearted guardian. I could have. I guess I could have delayed doing this test one more turn. Get stout-hearted guardian down now. Oh, I did have to spend that other one. Forgot I played Quizzy Snacks, so I have to do that. I guess I could have played stout-hearted guardian, tap down, soothe another fatigue. Not been able to do the connection test this turn, but like wait next turn. But then the chances of getting another drop bear are like high, right? Like that's worse. So I think we take the injured out, but let's read 110 first because technically this happens first. We clear the reclaimer. Because this might actually tell me to camp. The reclaimers seem to be following a well worn path, making it easy to pursue. You follow at a distance as it winds through the grove and up over a hill. You crest the ridge and suddenly stop. At the bottom of the hill, you see numerous sinus bodies silkering through the underbrush. There must be at least 20 reclaimers. They seem to be milling around the overgrown Estian ruin, occasionally devouring any small animal they find hiding in the underbrush. Oh, yeah. Oh, I think it was that. Perfect. Um, gain. Oh, oh. Well, okay. We're going to gain invasion stage 1. Record 94.4. How many days from now? 7 days. So the 16th. 94.4. The 94.4. The reclaimers appear to be very territorial, as if they are clearing the area around the ruins of all other forms of life, save the foliage. You shudder to think what might happen if a pack of those biomelds descend upon a village. Unsure how to approach the herd of dangerous biomelds, you think back on your training. Now that you observed several reclaimers individually and now a pack, it is wise that to share your observations with others to help determine the course of action. Of anyone in the valley, the people who live and work at the biological outpost south of Branch. Hey, look, that's where I am currently. Experts in biomeld and animal behavior may be able to offer some insight into what the reclaimers are up to. And then I gain the journey to biological outpost mission. So what happens if I'm already here? Um. Well, first things first. Oh, there are two Firefox things. All right. First things first. We suit to fatigue. We then fire the rest of this, as far as I know, which means I will suffer another injury from the Cloud Hive guys. And we will put a wound on this. But I don't have 4 or more fatigue anymore. I only have 2. Oh, yeah, I lost them because of the injury. So that's cool. That actually worked perfectly. Sorry, I'm actually trying to look for where the mission cards are. Oh, they're right in front of my face. Invasion Stage 1. We will look into this later. I think. Journey. I've arrived to the attached location. The attached location is where I'm at. Oh, sorry. 1.50. When you reach the biological outpost, you are presently surprised to find not only Siri Sana Mir, nice, the valley's self-proclaimed resident biologist, but Zek Sal, the slit horse courier, making a pot of tea on the outpost's lone soul coil. Zeke recognizes you from ranger training, and both he and Sirisana listen in mounting alarm to your experience with the Reclaimers. Sorry for anyone whose Siri's devices I just activated. If I'm currently on Watcher in the Brush, no. Trails of Vines, yep. Or Deeper Motive, go to 113A. You mentioned the mysterious Verdesians that have been lurking around. Sirisana's eyes widen. A Verdesian, you say? Have you heard about these beings? I have heard about these beings, but I've never seen one myself. Perhaps it would be worthwhile for you to find this being an attempt to communicate with it. It may be able to offer some insight if it's able to communicate in the first place, of course. Uh, of course. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. We can either return to the outpost after speaking with the Verdessian, or forget the Verdessians, the reclaimers that don't matter. Um. Uh. I don't really know. I think the reclaimers are kind of more important. Um. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Oh, right. I'm not showing you guys. No, this is fine. I'm trying to remember what I can do. So I'm either gonna think about speaking to the Verdessian, which seems like the good, appropriate message, but I have to return back here. I have to track down it. Um, I guess I'll be in the neighborhood, right? I don't think. Oh, or no, I think this is a pain. I think this is. I think talking to the Verdessian is a pain. I think I say forget the Verdessian. The Reclaimers are all that matters. You shake your head. Although the Verdessian is an interesting lead, it it can't be as important as coming up with a solution to the Reclaimers. Go to 13B. If you were surprised by the invasion, I'm not instructed to say that. So, I've completed. Nope, I've completed a secret invasion. Interesting, Sierra says. You say they were milling around a ruin. I wonder if there is something about the ruins that draws them. She seems she seems to get the idea that an idea then excites herself. When Sarasana returns, you see her carrying what looks like a cylinder pane of circular pane of glass set in a wooden frame. I got these at Kobo's market last month, she says. The the Messapians use it to track schools of fish, but I've modified it to monitor nearby biomelds and animal activities. I'd like you to have it. It may be helpful. It may be helpful. It may help you better understand the reclaimer's intentions. Gain the biosign sensor reward and go to 114. Um, before we go there, let me see if I just have. Oh, just let's look at the reward. Oh, I'm not talking in the mic. All right, let's just look at the reward card and see what we got. It's a requires one focus. It's an attachment trail tool and tech. It's not an aid card, so I can't increase it. Um, attach to a feature. After the attached feature is cleared, scout X path equal to the number of beings in play. It's not a bad one. Um, and it doesn't have an inventory slot. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Be really good here. I could be scouting a lot. Um, Biosign sensors be added there. 114. If I have Watcher in the Brush, Trail of Vines, or Deep of Motive, whoopsies. I could have definitely done Trail of Vines. Oh well. You win some, you lose some. Zeke finishes his tea and stands. Well, I suppose I'd best get up to Lone Tree and let Elder Thrush know about all this. He heads for the door and shouts his to his stilt horse. Come on, Nell. Quit snacking. We got a ride ahead of us. You spend a few hours at the of you spend a few hours at the biological station resting after your hike. Well, Sirisana continues her studies. As the light is starting to fade, Sirisana's Tela Jekra returns apprentice, sorry. Tila Jekara returns from a day of field studies with a rucksack full of lichen and an armful of branches for the fire pit. Sarasana up, gets her up to speed on events, and the two immediately fall into a lively debate about what, if anything, to do about the reclaimers. They are clearly an invasive species, Sarasana says. There is no prior record of these biomelds in the valley. Our ancestors encountered these reclaimers in the time before we settled here, but that was long ago. They're yet another biomeld run amok, fulfilling some ascent, esoteric purpose at the odds of an with the natural world. We don't know that for certain, Delia retorts. Even if they are filling some outmoded purpose, they've had centuries to become part of the ecosystem. Look at the regular beast. They were once viewed as invasive pests, but over time we've learned how critical they are to the ecology of the Verdessa. Or take growing weaselvilles. At this point, you hastily interrupt to point what these beings are. What these beings are may matter less than why they have suddenly arrived and whether or not anything can be done about it. Both Sarasana and Telia stare at you like the idea has never occurred to them. Otherwise, they must have a nest, Delia says. Some uh somewhere they congregate to learn more. They're going to have to find you're going to have to find it. Maybe you could tag the reclaimers and then follow the tagged ones back to their nest. You agree, and Tilia and Sarasana spend the next hour rigging up a simple tagging system. Small, sticky balls of sap treated with particularly pungent substances. Then they hand you a small cage full of wooden shavings, in the center of which is a drowsy looking mole with a large pink muzzle. Beecher mold, Teal explains. She reaches into the cage and pulls out the mole, who yawns sleepily. She wafts some of the pungent or aroma under its nose, and the mole suddenly perks up and starts yapping. One whiff of this mole saw musk, and Gus will follow it to the end of the earth. He can smell it from up to 2 kilometers away. You leave with the mole and sap tags, but only after making a promise that you will do your best to return Gus safe and sound once this is all over. All right, we complete this one. and we gain find the nest. Okay. All right. And Trail of Vines gets completed. Um, get into the nest. All right. Oh no, sorry. Find the nest. Find the nest. If we had known, if we had just talked to the Verdestian, which I think I only had 1 day to do, so that was probably the best call. Um, and then, guys, after all of that craziness, I'm gonna move away from biological outposts towards um hmm. Okay, find the nest. What do we have to do here? Attach this mission to the Reclaimer Seeker and play. Okay. So we have to find more Reclaimers. And because we're on Invasion Stage 1, ruins. So oh, right, that would be like on the location. Yep. All right. So the Ziggurats, it's an option. The Ring of Moons, also an option. The Fractured Wall. Okay, that might actually be the answer. And we're here? Dude, I don't want to go through old growth again. This is just pain and misery. But that is probably the answer. Green Bear Knoll? Okay, okay. Alluvian Ruin, which is here. So not really the best option. And then Sunken Outpost, which is the worst option. I think we had the we could do the ravine. We go back up here, and here. I think this is the correct answer. So we go back up. I think we try to go to the knoll. Um, So yeah, I think we go from the biological outpost up to the crossroads station with the idea, um, that we then go to Spire and then Green Knoll. Okay, so we're gonna end today. I'm just that was a lot of talking. My hands are starting to hurt a lot, which is a kind of a problem. More importantly, I got a day done, which is good. We also got a lot done. So we're gonna head towards Crossroads Station. We're gonna camp for the night, so that way I don't injure out. Um, Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching in the future, make sure to hit. If you want to drop a like, hit. Post a comment, whatever. Everything helps. Get to this algorithm. Um, we should be back next week for day 10. With that, take care.